Alright guys, welcome to this page of the notes, and what I've got for you here is I've got just a simple little problem where you're given a formula, and I'm going to ask you to evaluate that formula based on the problem that you've been given, and really the purpose here is, again, just to give you some more practice with your calculators and evaluating these expressions which have a rational exponent. So let's go ahead and jump right into this one. I can see clearly from the problem I was given that I'm going to be using the formula r, which is going to be the radius of a sphere is equal to 3 times v, v being the volume, divided by 4 pi, and that whole quantity is raised to the 1/3 power, which is a rational exponent, and hence the reason we're doing it in this section. So we'll have a rational exponent. We'll get to that in a second. Let's go ahead and read the problem and see what they want us to do. The radius r of a sphere with volume v is given by the formula that we just talked about. Find the radius, so we're going to be looking for r, of a ball whose volume is 77 centimeters cubed. Okay, well, let's go ahead and plug in what we know. We know the volume is 77. That'll go in for v, and you're being asked to find r. Well, let's plug all this stuff in that we know. R is equal to 3 times 77 centimeters cubed all over 4 times pi, and that whole thing is raised to the 1/3 power. All right, one last thing I'm going to do here. Because of what we have been doing so far in this section, you should immediately recognize, hey, this 1/3 power is really just a cubed root. Since the denominator is 3, that'll become the index of my radical. So let me rewrite this one more time. R is equal to the cubed root of 3 times 77 centimeters cubed all over 4 times pi. All right, let me tell you how I would go about doing this on my calculator if I were doing it again. Your calculator will do exactly what you tell it to do. Unfortunately, in many cases, Algebra 2 students just tell their calculator to do the wrong thing. So here's what I would do. I would do 3 times 77. Figure out what that is. In fact, I've done 3 times 77, and I get 231. I would then do 4 times pi. 4 times pi, get whatever that number is. I've done it. It's 12.57. Then I am taking, the cubed root of all of that. But before I take the cubed root, I would then, if I were you, go ahead and do the division first before taking a cubed root. So 231, these are multiplied, so my units are centimeters. Centimeters cubed. Don't want to forget my units. Don't lose your units. All right, so anyway, 231 centimeters cubed divided by 12.57. I would do that first in my calculator, and what I would get, or what I did get, was 18.38 centimeters cubed. And we'll be taking the cubed root of that guy. Now, once again, in your calculator, if you have the TI-84 graphing calculator, on the far left-hand side, there's a button that says Math. You go into that math function, and I believe it is option number 4 in that list that comes up that is actually a cubed root function. So you just select that cubed root, it'll drop a cubed root right into your calculator, and then it'll ask you, what do you want to take the cubed root of? Well, you'll put in an 18.38. And r is going to be equal to the cubed root of 18.38. I get 2.64. And then check this out. Index is 3. The power is 3. Remember, whenever the index and the power match, they cancel each other out, and I would be left with just centimeters. So the radius of my sphere is 2.64 centimeters. Again, when using your calculator, please be very, very careful. I would break it up into little chunks as you kind of go through this problem. Yes, your graphing calculator absolutely is smart enough to do all of this at the same time. The problem is the way you would have to enter it into your calculator would require quite a bit of parentheses to make sure your calculator performs the order of operations in the correct order. And if you forget even one of those parentheses, your calculator will mess up the order of operations. Well, your calculator will do exactly what you have told it to do. You just told it to do the wrong thing because you forgot a parenthesis here or a parenthesis there, and you don't wind up with the right answer. So to avoid you telling your calculator to do the wrong thing, just break it up into little bite-sized chunks, and you kind of work your way through the problem, just doing the order of operations for your calculator. I would certainly encourage you to practice getting used to putting the whole thing into your calculator. If you can get good with knowing when and how to use parentheses, awesome. But until you get good at it, and just to be sure you're doing it correctly, break it up into little bits, and then do each of those, taking care of the order of operations for your calculator. All right, head on over to the next page of the notes and we'll begin simplifying expressions with rational exponents. I'll meet you guys over there.